Guys, welcome to Gusto Reactions once again. Thank you so much for always liking, for sharing, subscribing, for telling your friends about all that we do right here at Gusto TV. We love you. We appreciate every one of you. Today, I've got Lala right here today. And of course, we have the Manchala one of Africa, Wizkid Ibrahim Ayodeji Balogun on this particular one. Lala, Wizkid told us about the fact that he has two shows, and one in the US, one in South Africa. But of course, he did all of those in Ghana, virtual concert. The one for the there was the Amstel Malta thing, and then there was also the University of Pennsylvania. But those one of the performances, one of those concerts is actually getting a lot of backlash right now, especially from Davido fans saying, "Oh, who is that person? Oh, you guys are not going to talk about Wizkid's latest performance and everything. It is work and all of that. If it was Davido, we don't go hear what again. What exactly is happening?"
Well, what happened? I mean, there were two performances on the night. One of them was actually nice. It wasn't that bad. The one he was singing Essence, but then the one he was singing Reckless on sounded a bit off. Some people have tried to make excuses and say, oh, perhaps it's the sound, or perhaps it's this. But then the thing about live performances, you have to be on your A game. If you're not, it will easily show and people will see it. And that's not the best of Wizkid performances if you're going to keep it a buck. And the guys from 30BG have decided to use this as, oh, well, let's get at them for this one because it don't mess up. But then it can happen to anybody. On the night, you can't deny that that wasn't a nice performance from Wizkid. I mean, he's had better performances. I mean, I've sat here, we've come here and talked about his YouTube live performance, how we did it for hours and he did
effortlessly.
So maybe perhaps the amount of preparation that went into that and the same didn't go for this particular live coverage, and maybe even the team, or I don't want to say it's the sound, but it didn't sound well. It didn't sound well.
Now, a lot of people have been talking about, if it's Davido, people come and say, oh, this guy is not good at all and everything. But right now, Wizkid, we are saying, oh, it's the sound. A lot of people are saying it's the sound. Now, do you think you think people
double
are
standards?
They're double standards?
Yes, of course they're double standards. But what television are saying to FC is unreasonable. You're telling FC to come and tell Wizkid their OG stand, their stand, I mean, person they are standing that, oh, you did wrong. Well, I mean, in what way are they going to tell you that? So you're expecting from the wrong people. I think they should direct their, I don't know, double standard accusations to neutrals, people who talk about it, people like us who say it as it is when things like this happen. Yes, it wasn't a good performance.
So as a neutral, what do you think about the performance, overall performance of that one? Essence and Reckless were songs that people really criticized from that performance. What do you think about those performances?
Essence wasn't that bad. Essence wasn't that bad. It was nice. He was singing. Did his thing. I think Reckless was where he, got a bit flustered. He wasn't. It wasn't smooth. He was perhaps the way he was going about. There were some fast-paced lines in Reckless, and he was perhaps trying to, and then he was just not hitting the right notes. He was all over the place. And then maybe perhaps there's another factor to it. Maybe he wasn't in the right frame of mind. Maybe he was a bit intoxicated. Maybe you never know. I mean, we've seen people who feel they can finesse these things maybe when they're a bit intoxicated, but it didn't show on the night. An example would be Bella Shmurda when he was a bit high or when he was high. And I mean, people could tell that what's wrong with this guy. The same thing we could see from Wizkid, and it was a bad day at the office, which, by the way, is allowed. Anybody can have a bad day at the office.
Okay, this is 2021. Should Wizkid still be having this kind of issues with performances?
Anybody can have it, either self-induced or maybe by mistake, or anything can happen to anybody. We've seen performers, fluster their lines. We've seen them fall on stage, something they didn't plan for, and then finesse the whole thing like it's fine. It can happen to anybody, but this one looked self-induced, which is why perhaps he didn't prepare as much as he should have, and then it's something he will learn from going forward.
Do Davido fans have a right to actually criticize, this performance and everything?
Of course, now FC comes for them every time and say, oh, their own master doesn't know how to do live performance, is always shouting and things like that. This is an opportunity for them to get back at them. So the game is the game. Let them do it. It's allowed.
Okay, well, that for me, I personally feel that this performance, is not it. I mean, if I was coming to, let's say, something like sound, sound this, sound that, personally, I believe that this kind of performances should not be seen from a Wiz. I think lack of preparation actually caused this.
Yeah, I think he wasn't prepared.
For me,
Yeah.
and I also think that Davido fans, Burna Boy fans, and everything, maybe have a right to actually.
I mean, outsiders even decided to now show their strength. That you can't count Burna Boy because they tell you that Burna Boy sounds the way he sounds when he records and the way when he does it live is almost the same.
Yeah.
So they brag about these things. I mean, nobody's touching Burna when it comes to live performance.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to say Wizkid can do it, but then I mean he has to prepare well. It can what happened to Wizkid can happen to anyone. It happened to Burna himself. If you don't prepare well, you're prepared.
But the first one was good. The one he did for the University of Pennsylvania was
exactly. Was it? Now we have to now ask: was it done on the same night? What was happening between, or was it pre-recorded? If it was on the same night, I think he can do it because he's done the YouTube live for a long time.
Yeah,
so it can happen to anybody. He didn't prepare well. That's just it. He didn't prepare well.
Okay. Anyways, guys, that's all we have on this particular one. Wizkid's performance being totally bashed and criticized by outsiders, by Davido FC, by Teddy BG crew and everything. Everyone saying, oh, you know what, that cannot be Wizkid. That cannot be the Wizkid that you have all been shouting, about. This has to be a wise kid or something. But of course, guys, let's have your thoughts on that particular one. Wizkid's performance on YouTube being heavily criticized when he did for Amstel Motor, Friends of Amstel Motor some days ago. Let's have your thoughts. What do you think? Good performance, bad performance? What are your thoughts on that particular one? Thank you so much as you continue to like and subscribe, share. It's been Gusto Reaction. We'll see you on the next episode. Peace.
Peace.